Welcome to Aside Hot right here on Active Citizens. My name is Ifoma Oji, and joining me in the studio this afternoon, I have with me Sharon and Mchuku, my beautiful co-host. Good afternoon, Sharon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing this afternoon?
Very well, and you?
I'm great. You look good.
Thank you.
Giving lemonade. Alright, move straight to the stories making rounds on social media. We begin in Benin City, where former presidential candidate Peter Obi and former APC National Chairman Chief John Onyegun reportedly escaped an attack. Now, following the report, Edo State Commissioner for Information Kasim Afebwa has suggested that members of the ADC who were allegedly prevented from attending a meeting may have orchestrated the disruption. Second, in Ogun State, political watchers are bustling with speculation that former Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has stepped down to pursue the governorship. Though no official declaration have been made, inside reports suggest he may seek the APC ticket ahead of the next elections. Now to the third story. Meanwhile, the former presidential aspirant under AAC Omoere Shore has added fuel to the fire by visiting the police headquarters to drive, in his words, the illegal IG Kayode Egbetokun out of the villa. The fourth story for the day, now a story of global health progress. Lena Capaver, a twice yearly HIV injection, is being described as a major breakthrough in HIV prevention and treatment. The medication developed by Glick Sciences represents a shift from daily pills to long-acting injections, and at the center of this milestone is Nigerian's born infectious disease expert Dr. Onyema Ubuagu, who played a key role in the research trials. Now, these are the stories that will be unboxing this afternoon on Aside Hot right here on Active Citizens, and we are starting with a video of Mr. Afebwa, who has come out to make a claim that it might be the ADC that orchestrated the earlier report of attack that we had on some hoodlums had on Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential aspirant for under ADC. I'm so sorry about that. We'll take a video of that pronouncement or declaration of his, and then when we come back, we'll have more conversation on the topic.
The state
I speak for the government as a commissioner for information.
Yes.
And before I come here to make statements, I have also made calls to the relevant authorities. And I can tell you confidently that that was exactly what transpired yesterday, that with the crisis of Monday, we all witnessed it because they blocked the road that leads to Government House. At some point, even me, I had to make a detour through Okada Avenue to access the Government House on that day. I was in Benin on Monday when that initial incident happened. And we're thinking that it was a serious crisis, so we had to quickly make a detour. And I had to pass through Okada Avenue to access the Government House. That is one. Secondly, that particular scene, if you listen to the video and listen to their leader, Senator Roland Owe, and Bibi, the one popularly called Agumbo and Igebo, you will see that they were bottle up anger and tension amongst all the leaders of the party, to the point that Chief Oyegu will have to lock his gate to prevent them from participating in the meeting. I wouldn't know what that meeting is all about. I wouldn't know about that. And so it is that same incident that snowballed into the crisis of yesterday. And I think the sense that Peter Obi was coming and Oluwakwada was going to defect. So those people who were prevented from participating in that, they may have, orchestrated this particular action.
Video of the Edo State Commissioner for Information Kasim Afebwa, who has suggested that it might actually be as a result of the internal crisis that ADC is having that led to this whole the whole gunshots and the attempted assassination of Mr. Peter Obi and other governors. But I just want to ask Sharon, because this story we took it in the morning show, the Morning Post, where we discussed that it was or should I say there were claims or speculation that it was actually the APC, the opposition party, that orchestrated this whole assassination attempt on Mr. P2B and other governors. But we are seeing a different narrative now, that it's actually a lot of people that were not allowed at the premises to enter the premises of the meeting they were said to have, which is to usher the former NBA president into ADC. There are a lot of people were not allowed to enter the premises, and that is why they orchestrated this whole assassination attempt on Mr. P2B. Do you have a different opinion?
All right. I'm going to start with something, right? Can the ruler of a kingdom fight its own kingdom? It's not possible, right? You are saying that it's possible that it is the ADC members, those that might feel disgruntled by the fact that they were not invited to a particular meeting, that would go ahead as not to just, even they would also continue this, because there are more and more videos to this, not just the day attack Mr. P2B and his entourage and other former governors. They also caused mayhem at the ADC secretariat. They vandalized properties, they stole from people, they scattered everywhere and everything that was in their path. So make it make sense to me how ADC members, card carrying members, would go that far because they were not invited to a meeting. And for this attack, it obviously means that it was already pre-planned and they already premeditated. They already knew they were going to do this. They mobilized themselves. This was not something that was arranged quickly. This was something that was premeditated. Now, if you are saying that they were not invited in a meeting, let's take a look at the time frame from the time they knew they were not invited to the meeting and the time that they had to go actually and plan this attack. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't give them enough time to have carried out this level of assault that we saw in these videos. So it is not true that it is the ADC members. For crying out loud, there are other parties where we've had different takes, different factions. We can see the PDP. We've not seen this type of attack on PDP members just because, a certain faction, and PDP is the king party of having factions who disagree. That is even where we have the Wike faction in the same PDP, and we've not seen anything like this going as far as tampering with the lives of their members. They are not that radical. So this one is very clear that this is clearly from an opposition party.
But we've actually seen other form of should I say violence, not just in the party. I think there was this I can't remember his name, this notable figure in Anambra State that was vying for a certain position. And
in what party? Sorry,
I don't know if it was PDP, but I know I've heard stories like that. Up to today, they're yet to discover his body and the rest of the stories. But according to what I heard, it was actually a party member of his that eliminated him, and that is why I had to bring up this particular topic or perspective as regards this story now. But let's still dwell on this story for a while. We've seen a lot of violence in different parties. Let's take PDP for instance. We remember in 2025 when they had their convention and how everything turned out, how some faction of the party is saying that they are not consenting to the convention, and how they went for their meeting in Abuja, and the whole disruption that happened there. A lot of people were fighting to enter the gate and the rest. So it was violence on that part, and we've seen a lot of I just don't, that's what I'm saying, right? I don't think when people fight and throw blows is the same thing as when gunshots are blown in the air. It's not the same thing. That's a different, they are not even in the same group chat. When I throw punches and when I cock a gun at you, I'm saying something else. It's as if we're talking about a gunfight and you're bringing a knife to a gunfight, and you want us to give it the same level of concern as the fight, right, with the gun. So I just think that, right, even as you said that even in the PDP we've seen this. What I'm trying to say, I don't know the year this happened. Of course it would be happening, but I'm talking about the most recent battles and internal crisis that the PDP has been having. Personally, I have not heard them attacking themselves with gunshots publicly in the way and manner I have seen done to ADC chieftains and Mr. P2B. Okay, now moving forward to the same story though. Now the governor of Edo State Monday, Ebola has not come out to make any press briefing concerning this particular attack.
He actually did.
Could it be okay?
I came out and he said something along the lines of that he heard about the attack that happened and that he is not in support of it, and they are going to get to the end of this. They said they are going to find out who is responsible and all of that. So I just saw it before coming on the show.
Okay, but do you think that he's going to pursue that, given the fact that earlier in 2025 he said something about Mr. Pito, if he is to come for permission, come to Edo State, that he will need to seek clearance from him first. Do you think that, because we're hearing that Mr. Pito did not seek security clearance from him, do you think that he will still pursue this particular incident?
You know, I don't even know whether Mr. Pito didn't seek that clearance, because in that video I saw a police officer stepping down and they were asking her, Madam Police Officer, are you just coming now? So I don't know if they actually sought for security clearance, but if Mr. Governor, the governor of Edo State, is coming out to say now that he's going to find out or get to the bottom of this, when he had previously come out to outrightly in public mention Peter Obi's name and warn him not to enter Edo State. I also rewatched that video, right? And what he said was, he warned him. He said, before you come into Edo State, you need to ask for security clearance, and even at that, he's not going to guarantee your safety. That anything that happens. You shouldn't, so it's not even, it was just a plain out threat, in my opinion, in my own books. That is just you threatening somebody, because it's not as though the security clearance is them saying they are going to protect you. It's even alerting them that you are around and they can do what they want to do. So it's not even a sort of protection. What he's saying is, whether you inform me or you don't inform me, you just know your security in this state is not guaranteed, and we've seen that yesterday.
Okay, let's establish this. I love the fact that the governor of Edo State came out one time to say that he is the chief security officer of the state.
Yes,
we've established that, and we've had a lot of attacks on the Edo State, and him coming to reiterate that he is the chief security officer of the state, and such a high profile incident happened under his watch as the chief security officer. Do you think that maybe he should go in for some questioning?
That is the reason why things like this happen. First of all, as governor, he has immunity. That's one. And secondly, because he is governor, he can't be everywhere at a time. Yes, he is the chief security officer. It's like coming to Lagos and someone steals your phone and you go to hold the governor of Lagos State because of that incident. Yes, he is the chief security officer and he's supposed to be in charge of security and secure lives, but he can't be everywhere at a time, and that is why I see the street smartness in what he said. You don't have proof. We don't have proof. They were not able to catch any of the hoodlums who did this. If they caught them and they said, it was actually someone from the government that sent me, then we'll have a different discussion. But right now, he can as well come out and even go and visit the injured victims and commiserate with them. I'm really sorry. After all, nobody saw him. Nobody saw him. Nobody caught the hoodlums. Nobody can come and pinpoint anything and say, this because it happened in your state. I want to know how much President Tinubu has been prosecuted with all of the bandits that attack and the people that have been kidnapped. You can't really hold these people accountable, even though they are the chief security officer, or like the Edo State governor. Funny enough, still the same Edo State governor will say the GSFRN of the state, talking about the president.
Anyway, I think you just nailed everything right on the head. I think it's everything is tilting towards the opposition party orchestrating this particular attack, and which I feel is too vicious. And I feel like as politics is supposed to be a game, everybody is supposed to play fairly. Nobody should intimidate anybody or persecute anybody, like I said in the morning show. And as the chief security officer of the state, your primary responsibility, every other thing, basic amenity, is just secondary, but the primary responsibility is to ensure that the lives and properties of everyone in the state and people who are equally entering the state is secured. But with the recent attacks we've had in Benue State, it seems maybe he's failing on his mandate, which he has realized that, and he has come out to say that he's truly the chief security officer. Maybe he should have a rethink if he's really doing his due diligence. But let's move over to the next story, which is about the IG of police, who is now going to be the former IG of police. We're hearing that he stepped down to pursue the governorship candidacy of Ogun State under APC, that he will be joining the APC. And I mean, this is a man that has a lot of baggages, and the baggages here is, should I say, mostly on the negative part. And him coming out now, not that he came out, but there are speculations now that he will be joining APC and he will be running for governorship in Ogun State. Imagine that controversial figure running for a seat. How do you think this is going to look for the people of Ogun State and the entire Nigeria?
I really don't know. I honestly don't know. And first off, you know, I have not, aside from over here, it's not a popular news right now, or speculation. It's not really popular. I don't know if he's going to come out and debunk this. It might just be people's speculations. I don't know. So if it was a popular notion right now, if it was a popular rumor, I'll be able to talk with more confidence on this matter. But with him and his, like Sore would call it, his illegal reappointment as the IG of police, now coming down to run for governor of Ogun State, I don't know how that would. First of all, I want to say that is going to be a very ambitious role. It shows that when you look at his career, because he has done well in the space of his career, with his law background and now in the force and working as, you know, the CSO for President Tinubu while he was governor. He's had quite a good, you know, run in his career. Now wanting to like top that off with governor of Ogun State, I can't put anything past anybody at this point. It's possible. I really can't put it past him.
Now, talking about him being the chief security officer for Mr. Tinubu when he was the governor of Lagos State, and which I feel like it was what made Mr. Tinubu reinstate him in office as the IG of police, more like rewarding him, even when he is said to be or may have retired, or to be should have retired. That's the right word. But let's talk about this now with his portfolio now, and with everything that he has done under his administration as the IG of police. Do you think that the security of the Ogun citizens is kind of guaranteed? Do you think this is the mandate that he will be running with?
I really have not seen any of his policies or change or whatever that he has made as IG of police that has been of great reward or benefit to the people of Nigeria, right? So the entire Nigerian citizen, because as IG you're serving Nigerians, not one particular state. Now that he is going to be serving a state as governor, now working as the chief security officer of Ogun State, based off of his pedigree, I don't see him doing different from what he has already done as IG of police, right? You would always use someone's pedigree or someone's past achievements to judge their future capabilities, and based off of that, I don't see much that he can do or much that he can change in that regard.
Okay, then, well said. There's this particular topic or this narrative that have been flying around the comment section and on socials for a while now, and that is a lot of politicians using politics as a backup plan or a retirement plan. Now, this IG of police is someone that has served Nigeria. I don't know whether he served Nigeria or whether he reformed Nigeria. To him, he may have done that, but given his credentials and the fact that, I mean, he's old now and he's supposed to retire, go and rest because he has served his country to the fullest. But coming back now to hear that he will be running, he might be running as a governor in Ogun State. How do you see that? Do you think that some of these politicians that we have now in the political sphere are using retirement or politics as their retirement plan?
It is obvious at this point. It is obvious, because tell me why after serving maybe over 35 years in the force and you're supposed to retire. So you know, this particular news of President Tinubu sacking him, it's different. People use different words. Some people use resignation. He has resigned. He was first to resign. He is supposed to have resigned, right? Now that you have resigned, the first thing on my mind I would think is, okay, you're supposed to retire. And if he is actually going to come out to run, it just shows that yes, there is, of course, people use political positions as retirement, as something to just cap it off. That's the phrase I'm looking for, to cap it off, to cap off their entire careers and say they were once governors of their state. I think that's the pinnacle for them. So I don't like also that when you look at the appointees of President Tinubu, there are people, yeah, it's good to appreciate loyalty. I get that, right? And that is why President Tinubu is such a great politician. He puts people in his corner that have proven their loyalty to him. We can see the likes of Wike, from governor to minister. There are just different scenarios like that. But for this particular one, I just wish if they can leave it obviously to the people of Ogun State, it would be in their power to elect who they want, right? Let them elect based off of his achievements. Exactly. It shouldn't just be an appointment. Then there is no need for elections. Exactly. It shouldn't be handed over to him. He should earn it. He should prove to the people of Ogun State that he can do better as governor, and he should be able to convince them beyond every reasonable doubt. Then they should come out and vote if they want to, not something that is handed to him as your final package or retirement package.
Exactly, and that is why they say that a good name is better than silver and gold. So when you're leaving office, you leave legacy, good legacy, that if there is anything like appointments tomorrow, people can appoint you based on merit, and if they should vote you into office, they should vote you based on competence. Just
to add to that type of politician, Goodluck Jonathan is such a flying example. Goodluck Jonathan, former President Goodluck, is a politician today that I see people literally begging to give him awards, to give him political positions, and this is both internationally and locally. Also for Mr. Peter B, he's someone, I know that he doesn't even accept awards. I think he's the governor that doesn't accept awards, not because he thinks they're not great, but because it's just a policy that he has and he has had for a while. Now, these people, when you look at them, there are people who really have achievements, and it's so loud, it's so obvious, you can't deny it. It's something that you can feel. So it should be like that. They should be begging you to give you appointments, not the other way around.
Well said, well said. Now there is this story that has been, causing a lot of, should I say, rancor on social media, and that is a video which has been circulating on social media about Omoere Shore, who went to the police headquarters to ensure that the old or the former IG of police has left the villa. I wish the media team could pull up that video so that we can have some good time or little comic relief. But let's talk about Showore now. He's somebody, a politician that I've seen that is quite relentless, and he's that figure that is should I say weapon fashioned against a lot of opposition parties in Nigeria. And let's talk about the fact that he kept on hammering on the illegal appointment of the former IG of police, and the whole how should I call the humor in visiting the villa to ensure that he has left the office.
I think Shore is the former IG's nemesis at this point. He thinks about that name and sleep just leaves his eyes. I think so, because Shore has just been loudly publicly, completely, wholly against the IG of police, Kayode Egbetokun. He has stood on his ground that he was illegally reinstated. He has stood on his ground that his policy he does not agree with his policies. And also in another video, I saw Sore came out to say, well, he seized his passport last year and he's not been able to travel. But the passport is not even his concern. They want to fix Nigeria. They want to make sure that everything is running as it should. And according to Sore, he even thinks that the Nigeria police force is the key to Nigeria's growth. And that is why because it's about security. They're supposed to secure the lives of people, according to him. So seeing that particular video where he was going to check up on the new IG of police, it just shows how the type of man Sore is. He would see everything to the last letter, and there's nothing you can take from him. He's not shaken by visiting police cells or sleeping in prisons. And we need more men. I don't know if we need more men like that.
Definitely. And it was as if like he was actually the one that was giving the intel that there was a new police.
That was surprising. That you didn't know they were just being funny. But how can you not know that
they didn't know?
Why?
I feel like they didn't know.
I don't know.
The reaction, their countenance, it shows that they didn't have.
They don't read the news.
Because one of them said that, I mean, they've always been there. They are always on the road. They are always standing. So when do they have the time to confirm such things?
Oh, really? Maybe they are the ones that have been sent to the field.
Something like that. But yeah, I think we need more people like Sore to stand for democracy in Nigeria, and I really give it to him that he keeps fighting for the right of Nigerians, which is quite commendable. But to the last story of the day, which is more like a breakthrough in the health sector, we have a certain Dr. Obuago Onyema, who is said to be at the center of the milestone in our healthcare system, which kind of led to lenacapavir, a twice-daily HIV injection, which have been introduced in the health sector. Let's talk a little about that before we wrap up the show.
First of all, Nigerians, you all make me proud all the time. The good ones, right?
Yeah.
The people who do outstanding things, the people who stand out in their fields, in their different industries. This is such a man. Dr. Onyema is such a man, and he deserves all the applause. He deserves all the cheers and love from Nigeria. And I trust our Nigerian people to always cheer loudly for our own, especially those who make us proud. So a very big kudos to Dr. Onyema for this outstanding new achievement that he's been able to bag. I think it is something that we should be encouraging, and also it brings me back to the point of how bad things are with our healthcare in Nigeria, and just how much we undermine the capabilities of these healthcare workers. When in this particular event just shows that when they're given the right resources, they're given the right environment, Nigerians can really do and undo. They can do whatever they set their minds to. So this is just one of thousands that I'm sure is currently going on, and it's sad that we cannot appreciate the gems that we have, and we need internationals to pinpoint those gems and to utilize it. But anyways, he's working for the betterment of humanity.
Yeah, so that's really quite commendable. It actually reminds me of a story I saw on social media where a certain man was talking on Arise News, and he was narrating the story about how MKO Abiola wanted, how he craved to be the president of Nigeria, and he said that the reason why he wanted to do that is because of the health care sector in Nigeria, that there was a certain doctor that came to perform surgery on him, and he was coming from Nigeria. He was more like the chief surgeon there, and that was when it dawned on him that he really need to fix Nigeria, and that was what led to his drive for the presidency position in Nigeria. But that is still boiling down to strengthening our institution, most especially the security apparatus and the healthcare sector. If we have these people, these nurses and doctors that are paid well, none of them will be seeking to leave the shores of Nigeria to fight better life. All of them will love to stay in Nigeria, save lives, and ensure that there is development, health-wise in Nigeria. But I think this is where we are going to leave it on the table at Active Citizens. This is Aside Hot right here on Active Citizens. Thank you so much, Sharon and Chuku, and to you, our viewers, thank you for watching every single time. If you're here to like, subscribe, and comment, the time is now. Till we see you in the evening for more political updates. Stay safe.